Welcome to We Digress with Joy and Jess. Join hosts and longtime friends Joy Simpson and Jess Perry as they tackle the stuff of life the only way they know how, with honesty, faith, and humor. This is We Digress with Joy and Jess.
Hey everybody, welcome to We Digress with Joy and Jess. I am Jess.
That would make me Joy.
It would.
I don't know why I sang that, sorry.
Because singing is appropriate. I saw something on TikTok this week that said, I don't like, it was like somebody said that to me that they don't like musicals because nobody breaks out into song and dance in real life. And I say to you, well, then you're hanging out with the wrong people.
Right. I'm like, who are you hanging out with? Because I break into song all the time. I don't know if you saw my Facebook a few weeks ago. We were getting ready for church. Now, when we go to church in Palmdale, which we do not do every week, we have to get up at when Jesus rose. Mm-hmm. And Amen. So most people also know that I'm not a morning person, and it's not just because I don't like mornings. It is very hard for me with fibromyalgia in mornings. So that morning I had everything from TV commercials to worship songs to like random like TikTok sound bites just going through my mind, and everything that came out of my mind came out of my mouth. And my mother just looks at me and goes, "Oh, it's that kind of morning, huh?" And I just said, "Yep."
It reminds me.
This is what happens when I'm tired.
I don't remember what it was. You're
just not around the right people.
You posted something on Facebook a while ago, and it was like, or I did. And your mom made a comment like, "Oh, you're one of those people, you and your friend Joy." Or, "Oh, I remember what it was. I woke up with like a random song in my head." And your mom goes, "Oh, you and your friend Joy are one of those people." And then I immediately, without missing a beat, go, "Your personal jeweler." And then you immediately go, "Benbridge." And I thought your mom was going to just...
People think I'm like, I totally sing everything in life. Like even my students, like before camp was over, right? So I have this thing like especially when my kinders don't get in a circle, I always say, "You're not in a circle, you're in scrambled eggs." So they weren't listening. So finally I'm like, "That's not a circle. It looks like scrambled eggs." It's eventually they're like, "Oh, this is kind of dope." So they're not getting in a circle on purpose because they want me to keep singing. And then all of a sudden, one of my students goes, "And tomatoes." And I was just like, what?
You're like, you've missed the point.
But my supervisor walks in and goes, "Oh gosh, you're contagious."
Kids love singing. Singing is the best.
They do.
We learned that from Elf.
I literally, it's kind of why when I got that job, why it was perfect, because I literally just sing random things all day and kids pay attention to me. Or at least the little ones. The older ones, y'all already know. It's another story for another day. Anyway.
Right.
So yeah.
But yeah, and TikTok, the TikTok sounds.
They don't have, yeah. And then, but my students, they walk around singing TikTok sounds. But let me tell you, a TikTok sound that made me so angry that the kids are singing, but they're singing the wrong dang words.
Oh no.
It's Mr. Telephone Man by New Edition. So I'm just sitting in my classroom. First of all, this little boy, no, I was at the gate doing sign out. And this little girl, all I hear is, "Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my life." I said, "What'd you say?" She said, "There's something wrong with my life." I said, "Those are not the words, darling." She goes, "Oh." She's like, "What is it?" I said, "Line." She looked at me so confused because kids don't know what
a phone
line is. So the next day, I'm doing detention with two little boys because I got to work at 9:30. They had already gotten into a fight.
Good day.
Camp started at 8.
Starting soon. It's good.
So I walk into work and I'm like, "What?" My boss like, "They're staying with you," because I wasn't teaching any classes that morning. I was doing admin stuff. And I'm like, "Okay, what'd y'all do?" They were, sidebar, they should have been sent home because we have a rule of no putting hands on each other. But my boss is a simp. And he gives chances more than Jesus. And he's like, "We'll just call their parents and, because they want to go home. Wanting to go home is what they want. Then send them." Like, So he calls the parents and says they're going to stay with him all day. Yeah, because that's punishment. So I made them write letters to their parents about their behavior. So anyway, the little boy's writing. He's like, Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my life. Huh? Did you just say life? He was like, yeah. Isn't that the words, Miss Joy? No, it is not. My boss is on the other side of the room cracking up because he knows I'm irritated. And I said, it's something wrong with my line. He was like, oh, okay. So he goes, something wrong with my line when I ring my baby. No, it is not ring my baby's number. He said, no, he said, when I call my baby's number, I get a ring every time. No, sir. Those are not the lyrics. So then I say, it's Mr. Telephone Man. There's something wrong with my line. When I call my baby's number, I get a click every time. But they don't know what a click is.
Right.
Cell phones don't click the way old school phones
Right. There's
click.
just no,
So
it's
they're
hard
not connecting.
to effectively hang up on somebody now.
Yeah, back in the day, we used to be like, bam.
Throw it down, yeah. Now it doesn't have that
Phones
same...
took a lot. They didn't break. They weren't sensitive. So they're not connecting with it because he has no idea what something wrong with my line and click is. So he's repeating, and they only know that phrase because that's the only phrase on TikTok.
Right.
And they're repeating it over and over. Wrong. He goes, wait, Miss Joy, what is it again? What is it? He did that for like 25 minutes. I was like, Dylan, let it go. I said, like Frozen, let it go. And he laughed. I was like, oh my gosh, they were learning these songs on TikTok. Even like they had an old school like Guy, which was a group back in the 90s. They used to do this song called I Like. And the kids had these little point dances that they do. For those of you who are watching, I pointed and touched my head because these dances are stupid that are going with these songs. And they like doing this little hip thrust thing. And I'm like, I said, they were like, this song, Miss Joy? I said, yes, it came out when I was in like middle school.
It was funny. I had this like existential like moment. I was taking the dog to the groomers this morning and I had my XM radio on in the car and 50s on, well, it used to be 50s on 5, whatever it is now, they've changed it. But I stopped and I thought, because that's what I grew up on. Because when we were kids, K-Earth played 50s and 60s music because it was the 80s and 90s. They did. Well, now they're playing 80s and 90s and early 2000s on those like oldie stations. And I'm like, I'm trying to think, I'm like, well, I guess like, why aren't they playing 50s and 60s bops? Because those are great. And then I'm realizing that that's like the equivalent of like us listening to music that was made in like the early 1900s. Like, and I'm like, I am so old. When I first heard
Janet Jackson Control and they said the words old school with Janet Jackson Control, that's when I knew I was old. I was like, first of all, Control is my jam.
Right? Oh, well, they played No Doubt on the Oldies channel.
On K-Earth?
On K-Earth. Last summer, when we were still in California, we were sitting out on our patio and we had like an outdoor radio and we played it and they started playing Don't Speak. And I went, that hurts. It hurts. Like deep. It cut deep. Oh, it was bad enough when they were playing like
one of the greatest
Wham
songs of its time. Truly, "Don't Speak" was probably one of my favorite songs. And yes, I used to listen to No Doubt. For those of you who did not know,
well, I mean,
love No
they were
Doubt.
everywhere.
Like walking in a, sorry, I'm not home right now. Walking in a spider web, leave a message, and I'll call you back was my voicemail when I lived in Arizona on my sister's phone. Like,
get it?
I was that kid. And it didn't help that my uncle was friends with the Gwen Stefani's ex, who was in the band, which the whole first album was about their breakup, by the way, the black guy. And his apartment, fun fact, back then, his condo, he had it decorated to look like the set of Frasier's apartment with Marty's chair and everything.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, Frasier had like, I look back on Frasier's apartment and I'm like, it holds up. Like, it's
Frasier's apartment was pretty dope.
Right, it was. Hey baby, I hear the blues.
It comes on every night on Hallmark randomly.
Huh?
Yeah, I know the theme song. It just never made. I'm like, tossed salad and scrambled eggs. What?
Mercy.
I said it comes on every night on Hallmark for those who want to see some Frasier reruns. Anyway. But we digress.
Early. I mean, we were starting to get there. We were talking about TikTok because there is some drama on the TikkityTok about pink sauce. Now, I told Joy when we were talking about this, I was like, I've heard of pink sauce. Something having to do with pink sauce. I've seen people we follow this one YouTuber named Emmy Made, and she made pink sauce, but I haven't watched the video. I just know that it's a thing, that it's drama.
First of all,
I need to know.
I want to start this by saying I don't want pink sauce on my chicken. That's just, it looks like Pepto-Bismol, and I'll go from there. But continue.
Okay, so I am coming in as a pink sauce novice. I don't know what the deal is. So Joy is going to explain for me and all of us in listener land what the heck is pink sauce.
Okay, so apparently, because somehow on occasion I end up on Messy Talk, and I'm usually on Food Talk or Christian Talk or whatever the case may be, and a lot of times I'm on Blended Family Talk, and I found my man on Hinge Talk. I don't know. So,
I mean,
occasionally I get to Messy Talk, but Messy Talk has morphed into Messy Food Talk.
Oh,
and
we're blending the streams now.
There's a lady, I can't remember her name or handle, but she created this pink sauce that she made on TikTok. And according to her ingredients, the ingredients are red dragon fruit, sunflower seed oil, chili flakes, and dang it, there's one more thing that I can't remember. But supposedly there's also milk in it or cream in it or whatever. So this lady, she's African-American young lady, no hate to entrepreneurs out there.
Yeah, get your bag.
See, and it's the shade of Pepto-Bismol, no joke, no lie. If you want to Google it to show the audience a picture for those who are watching, go for it. It is serious. My mom actually saw it on her MSN webpage yesterday when she was looking at the news. She's like, Joy, that pink sauce thing is on actual news. I'm like, I told you, it goes deep. So this lady made this pink sauce, and apparently she started selling it and bottling it. But people were starting to get sick. Her ingredients label was wrong.
Put this up here. This is gross.
The ingredients label was wrong. Yes. So this is the pink sauce. She dips it in chicken. She put it on some wings. She put it on, first of all, regardless of the medical issues that apparently are coming with this, I would not want to put that on chicken. It looks like frosting. And basically they're it's pink ranch with, that's what other people are calling it. Some guy on TikTok who's a food reviewer, he's like, if you want some pink sauce, just don't order this. Just put some pink food color in your ranch.
Throw some ketchup and some mayo together.
Right, which is the original pink sauce, you know what I'm saying? So she's selling this stuff on TikTok, and people are supporting her, which a lot of people do, because there's a lot of different people that sell different things, and there's a lot of small business owners on TikTok. So there's no hate. So the first video that I saw about it was a guy saying no hate to entrepreneurs and people doing small businesses. But for the lady who made the pink sauce, I have concerns for you. And he started pointing out her label, it's at 445 something calories per, they had switched the ingredients, the calories were wrong, the ingredients information was wrong, the labels were doing things. Then the pink part of her pink sauce on the label looks like Victoria's Secret's pink, which can be some copyright infringement issues. Then I saw another food reviewer, which I love him. He cracks me up. He's called the Crawdad King or something like that. He's always talking about different foods, but he eats different foods, does a lot of mukbangs, but he also cooks a lot. And he's from the South, and he reviews he also reviews moonshine, and it cracks me up because he never thinks it's gonna affect him. And 2 sips in, he's gone, and it's hilarious.
Don't mess around with moonshine, man.
Yeah, I'm
I'll jack you up.
It will. So
Drinky stuff.
he's like talking about it. He was like, first of all, let me go buy some so I can be in on this class action suit she's about to have, because people were getting it and supposedly it has milk product in it, but that's not on the label. It says to refrigerate, but it's not. It doesn't come in any refrigerated packaging. One food reviewer lady, another one that I watch often, she reviews different foods from around the world and things like that. She was like, I've been hearing the drama. I haven't tasted the sauce. I was actually going to do a YouTube about it. She went to get the bottle out of her refrigerator. The bottle had swole up. Okay. So this woman was like, you guys, so she does a live apparently last week. And she's like, so you guys are having concern. No, before that, she's like, we fixed the ingredients label. We're so sorry about that. Yes, you do need to refrigerate it. It does contain milk, but that's not on the bottle as her ingredients. Milk, it doesn't say contains milk or anything like that, or some kind of dairy substance. Okay. Then she's like, we hear your concerns. We're making it, we're fixing the labels, blah, 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 blah. So then the next thing is somebody, I guess, there are people who are getting sick. Like somebody's going to get botulism and things like that. Like the two people, the two guys, the first guy and the Crawdad King were both basically saying, baby girl, you need to cover yourself, work on some. She also admitted that she had not done scientific testing or whatever the testing it is that you're supposed to, and it is not FDA approved. That was the other thing. And she didn't, but she was like, we don't need no FDA approval and all this other stuff. So the boy was like, the second video, the Crawdad King said, well, I'm just for real order me something to get in on this lawsuit because you're being stupid at this point. You're not fixing the things that really need to be fixed, including the fact that you're still using the Victoria's Secret pink label as your label, and that's copyright infringement, because I'm sure that is completely trademarked. There's no way you can use that. So she does a live and she's like, y'all have the FDA come to my house and blah, 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 blah. Well, FDA shouldn't even be showing up in my house. First of all, if you are preparing foods out of your house seriously for consumption, they take that very seriously. And so this caterer, who is a private chef and caterer in New York, she did a stitch to that particular part of the video and said that she does a lot of preparations for her catering and for her private chef business out of her kitchen. The FDA, especially in where she's from in New York, they can show up anytime because she has a licensed food kitchen. And that's what people don't understand. Yes, there's a difference between doing like the church to-go boxes to raise money or things like that to sell, but to give out or to raise money for the building fund or whatever, versus doing like a mass selling business. You have to have the proper licenses to do that.
We looked into doing, we've considered opening up a restaurant and stuff like that. So I kind of looked into a lot of things, and you can have like hobby stuff and all that kind of stuff. But there's like requirements. Like you still have to have Safe Serve certification. You have to do all this stuff. And the health department can come in at any point and shut stuff down. Any point.
Exactly. And that's what the chef lady was telling her. There's been so many people just like, ma'am, you tripping. So I think the kicker came this week. So that same comment about the FDA, she was like, first of all, we don't need to have any FDA approval because we're not selling medicine. I'm sorry, what? So somebody in the comments was like, does she think that F stands for pharmaceuticals and that's not how you spell pharmaceutical? Like, what? She's like, we're not selling medicine. We're not giving people medicine this is just food sauce and blah, 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 like going on and on and on. And I'm like, the more she talked, the more ignorant she sounded. And I don't want to call people ignorant, but it's caused a lot of controversy. People actually have gotten sick, and she's not wise enough to cover herself because she keeps saying things on her page and on her lives that are digging her deeper and deeper.
It's all evidence.
So That is the pink sauce drum.
I can.
It's a lot of evidence. Like, you're putting your own evidence out there.
Now, I am not an attorney. I'm married to one. I am not an attorney, and I don't play one on TV. But I know enough to know that, like, sometimes you gotta shut up. Like it's so funny. My watch, as soon as I said attorneys, it's like, let me look for your attorney here, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I got one. He lives here. But like, yeah, I mean,
you watch.
I think that's the hard part about TikTok. And it's funny because I sent you a video this week on a totally unrelated thing, talking about voice technique and vocal technique. Speaking of attorneys, my attorney is calling me. I'll call him back later. He's fine.
Hello, attorney.
But I sent you this video of a vocal instructor talking about technique and vibrato and all that kind of stuff.
The video about the vibrato.
And I follow her stuff a lot. Her name's Maddie Tarbox, and she's a vocal instructor. She's an evidence-based vocal coach, as she calls herself. And I really like her stuff. And actually, a lot of the things that she's...
Right. I had never heard that term until you sent me that video.
So she does a lot of things. She talks a lot about... Because in vocal training, usually it's very imagery-based. Like, it's a lot of place the sound forward, place the sound nasally. We want you to feel like you're doing X and Y and Z, that sort of thing. And for her, what she's talking about is like, no, we want to lengthen the vocal folds. We want to thicken the vocal folds. We want to, adjust our breathing or whatever. We're moving the tongue, that sort of thing. So like more mechanical as opposed to imagery focused. But like some of the stuff, I'm realizing that, that the instructors that I had, and I had probably 4 or 5 vocal instructors over the years, like formal lessons and stuff, they were all different. And I'm a hodgepodge, hot mix of all kinds of things. And,
different vocal techniques.
And now I'm like, I don't even know what I am. But it's interesting because you said I've never heard anyone say that way. But it's like in my brain, I sent it to you first off because I've watched her stuff and I think it's accurate. But also, like, I realized I don't really know her qualifications. She sounds good, but I don't know what her qualifications are. Right. And it's like this girl. It's like, yeah, that's an interesting idea. I mean, I have questions about why you're putting dragon fruit in all that. I don't know, but like,
sunflower seed oil, chili flakes, and I cannot remember the 4th ingredient.
It's got to be something like heavy cream or mayonnaise or something, because it's like a pink milky consistency, sour cream or something.
It's very Pepto-Bismol.
Oh my gosh, yes. So Pepto-Bismol.
I'm looking at the ingredients. Yeah, and so that's the thing. We don't know people's qualifications on any of these things, right? And apparently she asked, like, what is botulism? Like, you need to
baby girl,
know. No. Oh, garlic.
Garlic, okay.
Garlic and honey. So there's no cream or anything on her ingredients list.
There's definitely something.
But then when they send it, they send it and it's not refrigerated. There's no ice packs. There's no dry ice. There's no nothing when people received it. And your bottles, just FYI, ladies and gentlemen, any bottle of any form of sauce that you buy, if it is starting to bust and look like it's going to explode, don't eat that. Like,
bad.
Let's not do that. And the reality is, and like the first guy was like, I am not hating on small business owners. I'm not hating on entrepreneurs. I'm not even hating on the hustle, but we have to do things safely. We have to do things and make sure that we are not causing harm to other people. And the reality is there's a lot of things that we buy on the internet and we don't know all of the qualifications. I mean, my first, so my mini ears that I bought for my birthday party. Yes, I had mini ears for my birthday party when I was 40 people, and they were gorgeous. And so what? But I have purchased mini ears from her before during the pandemic, and I kept looking at her page, and this was on Instagram, not on TikTok. Her name is Bree, and it's Disney in my veins. She makes amazing products. She's really, really good, and she's a really nice person. Just we chatted on Instagram and stuff, and so and she her product is always good. Well, did I really know her product was going to be good when I first purchased it? No, but I also did my research. I looked through her page. I looked at comments. It looks like all of um, her customers were extremely satisfied. Even when I order things on Etsy, I go through comments and I do a lot of research, even when it's just a general online, like even if it's Old Navy and it's a particular dress and it's going to be for a different size and that it looks like on the model, but they make it in a 22. I look and see what the fabric is, because if it's not spandexy and it's coming from certain stores, I don't get it because I know it's going to be too tight. So I do my research, and the reality is everybody doesn't do that. Everybody does not look at, the things that they're purchasing, and it's no hate to her creating something different and new, but you have to do it safely. And, we follow all these people and we listen to people and we buy products and we make recipes on our own based on what we think looks good or sounds good on the internet. And the internet is always going to be the internet. The internet is going to internet, like I said.
Right?
It's going to, and you can lead into a rabbit hole. You know what I'm saying? So we just have to be careful. Like there's been this eyelash glue I've been wanting to buy for the longest time. It's Black owned. It's stays on long, supposedly, according to her videos. And she has a serum for you to take it off safely instead of just pulling your lashes off. And I've been wanting to buy it, but I hadn't done all of my research into her product yet, so I haven't bought it. Not that it's expensive. It's only $9.99. That's how much I spent on my Tarte one. Actually, Tarte went up to like $11. But anyway.
Inflation gonna inflate.
Right, inflation gonna inflate. Inflation's inflating, but the text ain't going up. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But it's not that I don't like the product. We can like something and something can look good all day long. If Jessica and I were to, we have our conference coming up in September. We didn't go into planning it lightly. We didn't go into choosing the speakers lightly. We look at the qualifications. We would not have a mental health speaker that knows nothing about psychology and mental health.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when we had one person back out and we were going to change the subject, and then Jessica was like, oh, I have a coworker who actually does that, blah, blah, blah. So we know their qualifications. It is not hard to put your qualifications online. If you want people to trust what you are selling, whether it is voice lessons, whether it's ministry, whether it's nasty pink sauces. I'm sorry, I'm not judging your pink sauce. I just don't. I have a fit issue with the color.
To be fair,
sauce.
That does not look appetizing. If you put that sauce on ice cream, maybe. Like maybe I would be okay. Like if you put that color, I should say.
But the chili, but then the chili and garlic
is what I mean. Like put pink on ice cream. Sign me up. Don't
frost me a cake with it.
I'm down.
You know what I'm saying? But don't put it on my chicken. Don't put it on my steak. Like they put it on different things. People have been really like putting it on chicken wings. Like it is.
But okay, so with people who eat it, do they like it?
Yeah. Some people have. Some people are like, it's just all right. It was one guy, one video, he made it himself, but people were like yelling at him in the comments because he used white dragon fruit instead of pink flesh dragon fruit. It still came out pink, but it wasn't as pink. He just added a dash of food color though to make his a little pinker. His wasn't as pink as hers. But he said the sauce wasn't terrible. Like, it wasn't as bad as he thought. But it's not like, oh, my God, I have to have this sauce all the time. Like, it wasn't like
Doesn't Starbucks have, like, a dragon fruit refresher or something?
It kind of looks like. So they have a dragon fruit refresher, and then they have a pink drink that has coconut milk. Let me tell you,
I had the first time I had that dragon fruit thing. Like oh, gosh. So...
You had the pink drink or the refresher without the milk?
So it was like the tea. It was like a refresher tea.
Okay.
So last summer, I had been doing some events in Corona, in Southern California for the university. I'd gone out and done some. We have what's called an early college program that I manage. And so I was out there with one of our school partners and doing some stuff. And I was super thirsty by the time the event was done. It was like 8:00 at night. I was getting ready to drive home, and there was a Starbucks right there by the freeway. And so I drove through and I was like, oh, they've got that like dragon fruit refresher, like the pink one. And it's got like all the,
Yeah, it's like mango
it's got like all the
fruit.
seeds in it and stuff.
Yeah, it has from the dragon
Yes.
fruit inclusion.
Well, so I'm
Yes.
drinking. I was like, oh, this is really good. This is great. This is great. Well, let me tell you, and this is maybe a little TMI, but it was hysterical. Dragon fruit can have a little impact on your digestive system.
Really?
I apologize for this drastic overshare, but it's too funny not to. I pooped pink the next morning.
Oh my gosh, really? My mom drinks that one all the time. She's never said
first
that
time it
before.
happened, I was
that
like,
is crazy.
I am terrified. What is this? This was like, I don't remember which one. It was like pomegranate dragon fruit. It was something like the drink itself was pink and then it had the dragon fruit in it. But it terrified me. I was like, what is wrong? And then I was like, oh, I had that thing at Starbucks.
Too.
So that was, I don't know if something's just weird with my digestive system, in which case, if anybody's a medical doctor, hit me up.
No, it could totally be that.
But yeah, that was funny.
I'm like, I drink a lot of strawberry acai if I'm not drinking like coffee from Starbucks, but I've never had that experience. I've drank, so the mango dragon fruit is good. Like my mom likes that one more, but I'd rather drink the strawberry refresher. I've just learned to stop adding the inclusions like the freeze-dried strawberries or the dragon fruit, or because sometimes it blocks up my straw, and they be putting like, I don't need 4 cups of strawberries in my drink. Like, I like it, like it's good, but I don't need it. But I mean, I wanted to share the story, not to clown the lady, not to be like, but it's like we have to truly be careful what we're buying, what we're buying into, because you buy into something mentally before you purchase it, right? You think about it. Like for me, when I'm online shopping, I go back and forth before I actually make the purchase. But that's just me. But that's me like mentally thinking like, do I need this? Is it going to look good on my body type? Do I need another pair of shoes? Like all these different things
we get
that happen, right? And so she had she obviously had the audience for it, right? Because it sold out originally until all these things were happening. And she wasn't understanding that why the calorie versus the serving size mix up was a bad thing. Because the way it looked, it was like 400 and something calories per serving. And that's not what it is. And it was just a lot. And so she didn't educate herself well enough to purchase this. What I would have done if people wanted to do this, and this is what I've noticed some TikTokers, one of my favorite guys to watch. He always says, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't seasoned. You know, so that's his, he's from Louisiana. I cannot think. Oh, Chef Alden. Yeah. And so what he does is he made an ebook of his recipes. Instead of sending out products and sauces and things like that, make an ebook. If someone wants to make this particularly bright, vibrant sauce, and every sauce, according to some of the bottles I've seen, every bottle is not the same color. There's been variations. There's been some that have been darker. Because when Crawl King brought that up, like some of your boxes, your stuff don't even match. Like one girl ordered 2 bottles, and one bottle was a little darker than the other bottle. Okay, so it's like, where's the consistency in your making? You're charging $20 a bottle for this.
What?
People are actually getting sick. You're not offering refunds. You're not even trying to figure out, like, because the whole like FDA thing happened literally within the last few days, that she was like, we don't need the FDA. We're not selling medicine. Ma'am, I really need you to educate yourself. So what she could have done, and this happens like Emily Mariko, all these like TikTok chefs, they would say recipe in the comments, or recipe pinned, or recipe in my link tree, different things, so that you can choose to make omit whatever out of the sauce you want, or whatever the case may be, because everybody is not ready to be an entrepreneur of food sales.
It's a lot of work to do it the right way, and you can't mess around.
Have that, and it's a lot of work, and it doesn't seem like It doesn't seem like it seemed like it got popular when she made it, and people were like, "Oh, I want some," so she started mass producing it. That's what it seems like, and it's unfortunate because I'm not happy people got sick, and again, I'm not clowning this lady. I just feel like she didn't really look into, her field, if that is your field, because the first guy was like, for real, not knocking the hustle, not knocking the entrepreneurship, but you need to do some more research. Like, he's like, you need to take this down. You need to be careful because you can get sued. And within a couple days, it was the only thing I kept seeing. Different people clowning her comments and the things she's saying. She's not being consistent in her words. And I'm like, you need to get a lawyer and stop talking.
Well, and that's the thing. Like we have a responsibility. If we're going to be entrepreneurs and you're going to put out a product, particularly one that affects people's health, right? It's one thing if you sell, a badly sewn shirt. Okay. That's one thing. That's not a public safety issue. I
sell shirts and bags and stuff. Exactly.
But we need to, right.
Nobody can get hurt from it.
Research before they jump into entrepreneurs. I think that's kind of the problem, particularly over the last couple of years, because the internet has become so ubiquitous and it's made information so free and easy to obtain, and it's made getting your message out there so easily. We have figured out the marketing of a product before we figured out the product itself. Or we have figured out, and that's a problem, because it means that we are not doing our due diligence. And if everybody is an expert, no one is, because there's so many voices and so many things that are coming out. And we have to have, as consumers, we have to have discernment, if this is something else, it's funny. You're talking about this pink sauce, and I'm laughing because you're like, we got to do the research on it, and you got to make sure that you're making a wise purchase before you buy it, which is 1000% true. And then I have just come from a brief meeting with a representative from the HOA where we're trying to build our house. And I have another phone call coming up later because it's a mess. And had I done all of my thorough research the way I do for everything else, I probably would not have entered a contract with Dreamfinders Homes because they're problematic. They're real problematic. And there are thousands of very unhappy customers about the quality of the build, the length of time that they take, all the problems that we're having. I could have been made aware of had I done the research for them ahead of time. And so, normally on every other purchase, I do all this research. But for some reason, when it comes to big ticket purchases, I think we shut off that research thing sometimes because we're like, oh, it's a house. I want to be in that neighborhood, so I do it,
Right. I mean, it's funny because my uncle I think he gets the car today, or he got it yesterday. He bought a new, so they don't have little ones anymore. Jax is 11. Micah, aka Moo, is 13. He hates when I call him that, but I've been calling him Moo since he was little. Ava is 16, learning to drive still. She's not all the way on the road, praise God, because she's funny. She's like a little old lady, and she cracks me up. The girl wants a flip phone. I'm like, I said, I love you, but I draw the line at a flip phone.
She's taking a wheel back.
No, ma'am. So he is downsizing his car. He decided, they had SUVs forever because, the two older ones have their own cars. Elijah was in an accident a couple weeks ago. His car was totaled. So pray for him. He's doing okay. It's just his car was totaled, and it was his first purchase on his
I've been
own.
there. That sucks.
Car. And it was his, so he, but he and his sister have an apartment, so they don't have any little ones at home, so they don't need a car that fits 19 people. And so, they're looking into electric because the Mirai that they bought for Ava, kind of like the family car, goes off of hydrogen gas, and they've been really liking not having to spend a lot of money on gas, and gas is super high right now and everywhere, but especially in California. As you can imagine, you're from here, we actually saw gas for $5.25 yesterday and clapped like it was $1.25.
My friend this morning, I was on the phone with her.
What?
She actually paid under $5 a gallon today.
Mm-hmm.
In South Orange County, so it's possible.
Where was she? I'm gonna tell my uncle and my aunt because my aunt's car still runs on regular gas. So he it's funny, he runs a lot of things by his big sister, even though like he's a whole grown man, but that's their relationship and that's what they do. And yeah, so it's so weird. But I mean, it's not weird that they do it. It's just like some days it's like, my brother, and then and the other days, my brother.
Which I feel like is par for the course with siblings.
So right. So, he test drove a Tesla a few weeks ago, and my aunt's like fussing at him because he's on a test drive while talking to us on the phone, but she wasn't fussing that he was talking to us on the phone. It was because the car was in some kind of
sport
mode and he was going way too
ludicrous
fast.
Mode.
And my uncle already drives fast, so he doesn't need to so it was insane. But they decided not to go with the Tesla, and he looks into some other things. He got a BMW Ioniq 4, which is their version of an electric car. And it's actually bigger than the 3, because the 3 looked like a golf cart, but the 4 is a little bigger. So he kept trying to go back and forth between what works best for him, and he found that vehicle. He liked the vehicle. But then he questioned the interior because Ava said it looked like it was a clown car on the inside because it looked too orange. So he calls my mom and I to look at the picture of it, which is actually on his Facebook. It's cognac. It looks like a camel. It's like a brandy-ish color. It doesn't look... I said, Ava, I wanted to go with you on this because I generally trust your old lady judgment, but it does not look that orange, girl. So, but he did his research. He drove it. He thought about it. Before. And I feel like with cars, we'll do that.
Yeah, we will too.
At least in my family, we research cars to death before we buy a car. Like, we will research it. We will look at the stats. We will look at reviews. We look at all of those things. And I don't understand why we don't do that for everything. Now, mind you, there are certain things you can't find reviews on, like, and I get that. But if it's going inside your body or on your face, to me, a t-shirt is different. Ordering books, ordering trinkets, ordering earrings even, that's different. And I've even had issues with that where I order from this place that I really like their earrings. And within I wore the pair one time, and the part of the hoop that snaps in broke off within the first day. And I should have done something about it, but I didn't. But that's still different than something going in your body and on your skin. To me, you should really look at that. Like, I don't just order. I was at Whole Foods and I was looking at dressing sauces for like 5 minutes, dressings, because I was like, I wanted to make sure it had no sneaking Parmesan in it and no things like that I can't eat. And it's like, if I can do that for salad dressing in a Whole Foods where everything is pretty much FDA approved, why would y'all buy this sauce? I don't understand. And to me, her showing her non-understanding of scientific food industry and just the food industry in general shows me that she was not ready for this level of, not success is not the word I'm looking for.
She wasn't ready.
But
she
wasn't ready.
There's that guy that I love his TikToks. He stitches with other people's. And the thing is, you can't eat at everybody's house. Like, you can't eat it. That dude kills me. But it's
love
true.
that guy.
Like, we always joked about, church potluck. Whose food not to eat.
Especially the one with the dirty. Did you see the dirty diaper one?
So gross.
Right. Facts. So, y'all. There's a lady who was like, you ever know what to do with your dirty diaper? She takes a dirty diaper, not just a diaper. It was a used diaper.
I have to tell you,
to
make it ever so slightly less cringe, the diaper is tucked in so where the waste material is on the inside and the exterior is an exterior of a diaper. However, it's a diaper. Nasty. It is a whole used diaper. Like, no.
Right. And she's wiping out a cast iron skillet, and then he's stitching them. You can't eat
and it's true.
Everybody's house. Because you really can't. Like you said, at the church picnic,
Sister Sally brought that. Don't eat her food.
And I have a personal problem. If I know somebody has a cat, I won't eat at their house. I will not eat their food. I don't. I'm sorry for people who have cats. Please don't at me.
I had a cat
if you do, I understand.
2 weeks. And I was like, that cat is up in everybody's business. Like, how?
Yeah. I've seen videos of people cooking and like their cats are like right next to the stove.
There is one family friend that we have that I know that they've had cats.
Immediately no.
And I will eat at their house because I know that they do not tolerate cats all up in their food, kitchen stuff. Like the cats don't get up on the counters, like, right? And so it's like, but I've known them for 40 years and like, I'm not going to have a problem with it. Other people, I'm like, I see where your cats, they're everywhere. Right. And put them down, please.
I already don't trust cat people. So, let me stop before I dig a hole and we lose the audience member or something. I'm just not a cat person myself. I like dogs. I like little tiny pigs.
Because that's a common.
I like rabbits. But I'm not a huge fan of cats. And because I have seen so many cat videos where like cats are surrounding food places and standing over pans and people are cooking. And then I saw this one lady, she took the spaghetti spoon out and let the cat lick it and then put it back in the spaghetti. And I was like,
cats lick themselves.
No, ma'am. So, so do dogs, but I wouldn't have given Dempsey or Phoebe a spoon out of my own mouth and then put it back in the food. That's their spoon.
The end. Shut it down. Shut it all the way down.
It is yours. It belongs to you.
Yeah. I am.
So you cannot eat at everyone's house and you cannot buy every product. I know we want to support. And I am a huge person supporting small business, of course, supporting Black-owned businesses. I am all about it.
Well,
so be careful, y'all.
You have to be wise. Use the brain the good Lord gave you. I mean, common sense is not as common as we'd like to think that it is, and it's frustrating because we want to support people and we want to do things, but not everybody is trustworthy. Like they can be well-intentioned all they want, but they may not be ready. Like this young woman was. Like, I have no doubt. I don't believe that she went out to try to make people sick, but I can, like you said, she just was not ready for this. She was not prepared and didn't know what all it entailed. And because we live in an age where we can Google everything so quickly, that should have been a real quick Google search. What do I need in order to legally sell a product? Because let me tell you, yes, there's a hobby thing. You can do a hobby food preparation thing, but I don't think that what she is selling qualifies for that. No, it does not. And so, because it's a very, very strict
it doesn't
requirements for hobby food preparation.
She didn't go through test kitchens. She didn't do any of that stuff. She just started selling it. And I'm like, I know so many. First of all, my uncles, one that is gone and the one that is living,
right,
they both have degrees in hospitality and restaurant management and have worked in restaurants and bars and clubs for most of my life. My uncle, now the one that is living, he is a dean at OSHA, but but he still has his degree in food service. And like, I've learned a lot from them. And even the way we cook on family dinners, we cook like it's a restaurant. We don't cook.
Food safety is important.
Just like we cook as if, we cook like it's a restaurant. He checks knife cuts. Like, we do all these things because we could probably open a restaurant as a family, honestly. But I think eventually he and my aunt, they want to open like breakfast restaurant where you can have breakfast for any time of the day, eventually. Which is funny because there's a place in LA called Nighthawk Breakfast Bar, and that's what they do as well. It's really delicious. Also because they have bacon that's like appetizer that tastes like candy. Anyway, it's really delicious. And then they have like cereal milks that they sell too. I don't like milk, but other people I know that have gone there that like it, they love it. So
she does not.
Yes, I don't like milk.
The only dairy that you really enjoy is ice cream.
I'm just particular with things, okay, guys? Pretty much. I used to do yogurt, like the yogurt from the grocery store, but because it conflicted with a medication and would make me sick, I had stopped eating that. But yeah, eggs that go into a cake, and into breads, or if it is in a recipe I'm making, I have no issue. But to just like eat eggs, nah, bro. No. Drink milk. Mm-mm. I'll put it in stuff. I'm not just gonna drink it. Mm-mm.
Right.
No. But yeah, I like you said, I don't think that she wanted to hurt people. It's just, she's also now at this point not using common sense and talking too much. That's the other thing. I'm like, girl, if you don't stop talking, please stop. I mean, at least like the girl, because I also mentioned the agua fresca thing. The girl that did the agua fresca thing, she at least came back and apologized for calling it spa water, and that she mislabeled it, and that she's learning things from different cultures. And like, she wrote a whole letter and took all of her agua fresca recipes down, because since we're on TikTok things, so now there's a non-Hispanic lady who was making agua fresca. For those of you who don't know what agua fresca is, it's one of the most delicious drinks that is commonly from the Hispanic family in life. And I love y'all for this, because I love me some agua fresca. And she labeled it as spa water. And it pissed the Hispanic community off, as it would. To me, it's like stewing collard greens and calling it a collard green salad. Like, that would make me very upset. Or I was watching Iron Chef, because Iron Chef is back on Netflix.
I like cuisine.
It's a new season of Iron Chef, and somebody was making fried chicken, and one of my favorite Asian chefs, Chef Kristen, she was like telling Alton, like, yeah, it's the best fried chicken because it's Korean. And so what Alton Brown says to her, because if you know anything about Alton Brown, honey, he knows everything about food. He says, but did you know the reason why Korean fried chicken is so good is that during the war, Black soldiers taught Koreans how to make fried chicken from their style, and your people took it on to a different level. And she said, I did not know that.
The
she
more
had
you
no
know,
idea.
Katy Perry.
And I was like, right. So we all influence each other, right? We all have different influences in each other's cultures and things like that. But do not, if you're going to make something, again, do the research. Don't call it spa water. And it really was offending people. Like, this one guy, he stitched it and showed it to his mother, and she went off in Spanish.
Yeah,
I don't even know what she said.
You don't mess with a Mexican mama or Latino mama. No. Mm-mm.
You don't mess with the abuelas. No. He was like, and this one girl was like, it is not no spa water, it's agua fresca. Like, she was going in, and she was explaining, my camera fell for those of you who are watching. She was explaining the difference between spa water and agua fresca. First of all, spa water is literally water with some fruit infused in it. Period. No. That is not what an agua fresca is. There's a place
for those of you who are in California, and you were in the Santa Barbara area. There was a restaurant called La Superica, which is the widest way I can say that restaurant's name. But La Superica is amazing. It is cash only. It is, I don't even know what street it's on, because I just go there by sight. But look it up on Google Maps. It's amazing. The food is incredible. But they have a sandia agua fresca that is like amazing. And they have horchata that's like, will knock your socks off. So all that to say,
the only thing I don't like is horchata.
That's not even got milk in it, though. It's a funny thing.
Horchata
doesn't have milk in it.
Hmm. You said what? It's not
No,
that it
which is a
has
bummer
milk
because
in it. I
man,
just don't like
good
the taste
horchata is
of
like
it.
killer. Anyway,
And I've
oh
had
yeah,
so many because my friend's mom is Guatemalan. She makes horchata, and then she also makes
oh yeah,
it's like horchata rice pudding. Like it's like,
I
and I
love
really can't. Everybody loves it, and I love Mama Tejada with my whole entire heart. But Tramika usually eats mine. I like sneak it
arroz
into
con
her
leche
cup,
is like
and she
that's
eats
where
mine
it's
because
at.
I can't.
Like more for me. That's fine with me, right?
No arroz con leche for me. I like arroz anything else. I am a arroz person. I will arroz all day long, but
No. But
arroz con
anyways,
leche,
La Super
no, no
Rica
más.
in Santa
But
Barbara, hit
so
it up.
this lady, she did, yes, Santa Barbara hit it up. So she
Yeah.
did come back because she heard the outcry of the community and people in her comments going off like, "How dare you, like skinny little yoga lady, come up here?" She's like, "I'm all about just wellness, and I thought this was a good drink for people, and I mislabeled it." And my thing is, I felt like she knew she mislabeled it, but I'm gonna give her the benefit of a doubt that she mislabeled it accidentally, and she has now repented to the community and have taken the videos of the recipes down. Now, I don't think she had to do that. I think she should have just went back and did some editing and called it an agua fresca because that's what it is. And so she's now done that. But it was like a huge outcry. And the point I was making is at least she admitted, like this lady is still, the pink sauce lady, she's still like, y'all are coming at me because I'm trying to be successful.
We're coming at
and
you
that's
because
not
people are getting
it.
sick.
And your sauce is pink and you're putting it on chicken. Like, that's my first problem. No, my first problem is people are getting sick. Second is, I don't know. Like, you eat with your eyes. And the fact that people wanted to try it, more power to you for wanting to dip your chicken in pink sauce and whatever else people are putting it on. Like, I saw somebody
Why
put it
would
on
you do
a
that to a
steak and I
steak?
was like, why? Like, first of all, I don't even like A1 on my steak because if you have a good steak, you don't need nothing other than some chimichurri because I'm a huge fan of chimichurri sauce. But other than that, and
I want to
only
like it, but
put
it
it
jacks
on
me up, so I
spear.
can't
What'd
eat
you
it
say?
because of garlic. But it smells so good.
Oh, I love chimichurri sauce so much. But I still put it on sparingly because a good steak, a good seasoned steak, doesn't really need a whole lot. Like, I used to think that you had to put A1 sauce because the people at steakhouses
Marketing.
put A1 sauce on their steaks. And I got older and I was like, I don't even
Actually,
like
you know
A1
what I
sauce.
love
Like, I
A1
don't
sauce on
even
is
like
baked
the
potatoes.
taste of A1 sauce.
I love A1 sauce on baked potatoes. Yeah, I'm a fan. But
Never had that. I've even dipped French fries in it, and I just can't.
Right.
Like, and I dip French fries in a lot of things, and I can't do that. I've even dipped fries in chimichurri sauce, and it's actually quite delicious because you can't go wrong with some oil and some garlic and some.
Hear me out on this.
Parsley or cilantro.
Now, this is a combination that I would have, but you could totally modify it. If you go to like, there's those ubiquitous SoCal diners that are like burgers, fries, pancakes, and there's always like a gyro or a Greek salad on the menu because it's usually run by a Greek family, right? Like one of those kind of breakfast spots, or like burger joints in California. There was one in Long Beach back in the day called Georgie's, and I would get their French toast with over easy eggs, and then I would get a side of French fries because I would take the syrup on the French toast, which has cinnamon on it, right? So cinnamon, syrup. There would inevitably be a little bit of the Rennie egg yolk in it because that's how I roll. And then you dip the French fry into it. It is. I love a Rennie egg.
Yes, that is definitely how she rolls.
But like dip the fry into that syrup combination, like a salty fry.
See, sweet and salty doesn't bother me. I've never dipped it in syrup before. One of my favorite combinations is fries and gravy from Roscoe's, like the Roscoe gravy on top of some French fries, bomb. And I also like lomo saltado, which is a Peruvian dish that comes with it. So it's basically, for if you guys never had it before, it is grilled steak, or if you get pollo saltado, it's chicken. It's grilled steak with grilled red onion, a little bit of stewed tomato.
It's so good. It's a national dish.
And French fries. And it is so good. My mother to this day is like, I do not understand rice and French fries. And she's like, do you eat it together? I'm like, yes, I mixed it all together. You get a little rice, a little French fry, a little steak, a little tomato, a little onion. It is so good. I know it sounds insane.
If you're
but it
in
is so good.
the La Mirada area, there's a place called Inca Soul, which has really good Peruvian food and really great lomo saltado.
If you're in the Torrance area or near South Bay Mall or in the deep in Torrance, there's a place called Pollo Inca.
Yes.
Pollo Inca, and they have really great. They have good food. And if you're not into that kind of stuff, just try the rotisserie chicken. It's amazing. Like, it's so flavorful. And they have like a cilantro dressing, that really good chicken soup. Try it out. Shout out to El Pollo Inca. It is very tasty. They have one in Palos Verdes, Torrance, and they have a drive-through in Hawthorne, and then they have another one like not far from South Bay Mall.
I think there's one in like Whittier too. I think it's that same restaurant, that same chain. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Anyways, well, now we're all hungry, so we're gonna go get some. I wish I could get some lomo saltado. They don't have it out here, which is bummer, but maybe I have to learn to make it.
I know.
Maybe we'll
make it when I come out there.
This is for another episode, but I recently sous vide'd a steak for the first time, and I felt so fancy. Right, let's talk about it.
Talk about that on the next episode. That is the fanciest thing you can do with food. Like, the fact that you could home
shout out to my Instant
like,
Pot,
oh
my
gosh,
first true love. Sorry, John.
Obviously, we're nerds. But thanks for joining us. The moral of the story today is, be careful what you buy, especially on the internet. Be careful what you consume.
And use the brain the good Lord gave you.
Body. Research things. And research things. And if you are wanting to be an entrepreneur,
use the brain
and you want to sell a product, everybody doesn't have a Jessica, and I understand that, because any product that I sell goes through Jessica, and she finds all the red flags before I do, and she figures out things. I don't know any of that stuff. I just sell it. I'm the face of the operation.
Beautiful face.
Most times. Because we do have brand ambassadors, so I use them for stuff too. But if you don't have a Jessica, figure out some things on your own if you're trying to go into business, because even recently, I did a product shoot for our new shirt coming out that is not out yet. And the pictures are not up to the standard of the brand, basically. And Jessica was like, we cannot post that. Like, that, you cannot use that. We're not going to use that. And it is what it is. So, and we're working on it. So in everything that you do, make sure that you look at it and that it is not only representative for, not going to mess up someone's like intestines or anything like that, but make sure it's representative of what you're trying to get out there, what you're trying to, sell, what your
brand reputation is important,
what you represent, because you are a walking billboard for yourself at all times. Not saying not to be an entrepreneur, not saying not to have a small business, not saying not to buy small business or buy from entrepreneurs. Just make sure that you're being safe when doing so.
What we have learned applies. Copyrighted. I can't sing it. Sorry. But my OG VeggieTales people, you know what I mean. Hey, we appreciate you listening today. We appreciate you hanging out with us. If you have strong thoughts on pink sauce, or you have strong thoughts on small business ownership or entrepreneurship, or you tried the pink sauce, we want to know about it. Hit us up. Yeah, we want to know. We want you on the show. You can go to podcast. You can send us an email at podcast@joyandjess.com. You can go to joyandjess.com and leave a video or audio message for us, and we could put you on the show. We could do it that way. Or you can hit us up on Instagram at We Digress with Joy_Jess with 2 S's, not F. I'm not Jeff, like Starbucks thinks I am. We Digress with Joy_Jess. So consonants matter, guys. Hey, we appreciate you. Have a fantastic week, and we will see you next time.
We love y'all.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on the web at joyandjess.com. That's JOIANDJESS.com. We'll see you next week.